Okay, hello and welcome to another episode of TEVAdrive, and today we are reviewing this amazing Porsche Panamera 4 SE hybrid, plug-in hybrid Porsche, all-wheel drive with 559 horsepower, 3.7 seconds to 100 acceleration, and this is the Sport Turismo version, which is the wagon, the world's only high-performance full-size wagon. Competes with 7 Series, S-Class, A8, but those cars do not exist in wagon version. This one does. So really its only competition, it's its own brother, the Taycan Cross Turismo. So again, the plug-in hybrid Panamera is Sport Turismo, the Taycan is Cross Turismo. And we'll try and compare those two. We already showed a short comparison video between the Panamera and the Taycan for our Facebook page, so you can refer back to that video. We'll try and include excerpts from that video in this video as well. In the meantime, let us tell you about this car. So this car is a plug-in hybrid, as we mentioned, and it's been recently improved with bigger battery. So right now you have a V6 2.9 liter turbocharged 450 horsepower motor plus 134 horsepower electric motor, which is installed between the engine and the transmission. It's an 8-speed automatic transmission, of course, the Porsche dual clutch. So together it's 559 horsepower total system power. Again, acceleration 3.7 seconds to 100. So this is the middle model. Below that is the regular 4E hybrid. Above that is the Panamera Turbo SE hybrid with even more horsepower. If you want to compare apples to apples, so this particular Panamera for SE hybrid with its cousin Taycan, the Taycan Cross Turismo 4S, the acceleration is about 0.3 seconds slower. And then, once you go to the turbo versions of this one, the Turbo SE hybrid, so the prices of this one starts at about 130. The regular 4E hybrid is about 10 grand cheaper, so about 120. This is just about 134,000. To go to the Turbo SE hybrid, you have to go actually over $200,000. So it's very competitive with its Taycan pure electric, cousins. And and that's really its only competition. So let us show you around this car inside, and then we'll give you our driving impressions as well. So let's pop the hood. Since we're in the front of the car, let's pop the hood, show you where the engine is located. Of course, because it is not a pure electric car, there will not be a front trunk here at all. It's basically your engine bay. You cannot see the motor. How did we open? Here it is. So it's nice and clean, but it's your 2.9 V6. The electric motor, as we mentioned, is located between engine and transmission, which is an 8-speed automatic transmission in this car. In front, okay, all the sensors are here as well, with the fog lamps at the bottom. This one is equipped with 275 by 40 by 20 inch rims. You can get up to 22 inch rims on this car. Beautiful green calipers on this car, which are specific to only the plug-in hybrid Porsches. You have the E-hybrid badging on the side of the car as well. That's the other marking for it being a plug-in hybrid. And of course, your charging port is here. And of course, because it's a plug-in hybrid, it's only a level 2. The little light flashes when it's charging, so it pulsates green light. When it's charging, when it's fully charged, it's just permanently green. The fuel filler cap is on the other side, also located in the back. Okay, so let us show you the inside of the car. Before we do that, we have the beautiful panorama roof that opens up. It's divided into 2 sections, the front and rear, both with electric blinds. There is lumbar support, and there is the front of the lower part of the seat can go forward or back. There's a beautiful Bose system in this car. The wheel is electrically adjustable, not manually. So front, back, telescopic, etc., etc. So it's all the adjustments are here. Nice leather wrapped steering wheel. Here is what we call a manettino. In a Ferrari, the Porsche has its own name for it. This is how you change your drive modes. You can also change the same drive modes here through the center screen, but when you're driving, this is much more easy. So the hybrid and pure electric is to the left, the Sport and Sport Plus will be to your right. So it's very easy to change the modes of the car, and we'll show you all that when we do the driving part of the show shortly. There's your pads, the pads behind the steering wheel are strictly for changing gears and only in gas mode. So even when you're driving in pure electric, the moment you touch these, it turns the engine on and it switches gear, but with the engine on. So you cannot use this for changing regeneration or even changing gears in electric mode, because as you know, because the motor is located between the engine and the transmission, the electric motor also goes through the same 8 automatic gears, but this can only be used, the shift paddles can only be used for the engine mode, gas mode. By the way, this car is equipped with a soft close. There you go, nice and quiet. You don't have to slam doors when you're arriving home in the middle of the night. It can be very discreet. You can see there's a shape of the back. This is the Sport Turismo, which is the wagon version. So the rear space should be better and the headroom in the back should be better. So as you can see here, the very decent legroom, space for my feet underneath, even though the seat is in its lowest position. Again, dual sunroofs, so the front part opens, the rear part is fixed. Each one of them has separate electric blind. The blind can be operated from the front, through the front buttons on the top, on the ceiling in the front, or the rear passengers can also control their blind, open and close it through the menus. There's a separate little screen here with some buttons for the passengers in the middle. The rear passengers also have various vents here for air conditioning and heating, located both on the B-pillar and in the center tunnel here. The rear seats are also heated. Okay, there we go. So basically here you have this is a 5-seater because you have the middle seat belt, so it's technically a 5-seater, but the middle passenger's position is not very comfortable because they would have to put their legs, have the center tunnel in between their legs. Not the most comfortable, but it is technically a 5-seater because there's a middle seat belt here. The rear seat is 40-20-40 split, okay, and there's your pass-through. Okay, so that's it. Let's close it down. And let's show you the trunk right now. Good luck, foot swipe, Porsche doesn't offer it, or at least it's not available here. Again, there's plenty of options. We didn't memorize the full list of options. Very likely that it's part of the one of the long list of options on the Porsche. So here you just press the button and it opens up. It has the green badging in the rear telling you that this is a plug-in hybrid as well. So here's the shelf. The shelf is attached to the hatch. Otherwise, you can detach it and just roll it in. It's quite a spacious trunk, much more spacious than the normal Panamera. You can see again the 40-20-40 split. Here's your charging cables. Here's a bit of a storage compartment, but not much really. This is where your battery is located, a high voltage battery. So normally in a normal Panamera, you probably likely have a bit more storage under here. Here is just not much. It's access to all the electronics here. And here are your charging cables. And so the bag containing charging cables takes up quite a bit of room. The charging cable is different than the Taycan. We thought that maybe it was the same cable, but it is a slightly different cable. It's similar to the Audi cable. It's just branded Porsche. It's very similar to our e-tron cable, but the Taycan, it takes it one step up. It has a little display here. So it's a smart cable that's likely Wi-Fi connected. So this is the similar version to the Audi. And in the Audi, you can keep it in the front storage compartment, or here in the Panamera, there is no front storage, so you have to keep it in your trunk. And so here, all your cables. This cable is both, as you can see, both level 1 and level 2. You can change the ending, so it can be used for both dual voltage, basically. So here is the bag, and the bag can be secure. There's a few straps you can secure it to your trunk so it doesn't move around too much. So that's about it for the trunk space. And now we're just gonna jump in and give you our driving impressions. Okay, so let's go for a quick spin. So we're now in the e-power mode, and as we mentioned, the 18 kilowatt hour or so battery allows you to drive about 60 kilometers in the city, down to about 50 kilometers on the highway. We have the climate on right now. The battery is almost full, showing 52. There we go. So as we drive, you can hear the electric motor, hopefully, and it's going through the same 8-speed transmission as the engine does, because the motor is positioned between the engine and the transmission. The battery is in the back, under the trunk floor. So there you go, you can see now that we explained that the Porsche doesn't like the one pedal driving, so you still have to use the brake pedal, and the brake pedal, most of the way it'll use the regen to brake the car, and then it'll apply the physical brakes. And you can see all that in this power range at the bottom of this tachometer. Right now you can see it, the charge is on the right, so you can see it showing the various LEDs here. As we decelerate and we accelerate, the power band lights up on the left. There's various modes, e-power. Within the e-power you have hybrid auto, which automatically adjusts between electric driving and engine driving or hybrid driving. E-hold, which just holds the state of charge on the battery, or e-charge, which actually recharges the battery. Then of course you have the Sport and Sport Plus, which are both using both the engine and the electric motor. Okay, so here we are ready to demonstrate the various modes, and as I mentioned, you can change the modes either via this screen, the center screen, or via this little turning knob on the steering wheel. We find this knob here much more practical, because when you're turning to the left, you go into full electric mode, then it goes to hybrid, and then it goes Sport and Sport Plus. But you can also do it through the center screen here. So even though this is a TEVAdrive review and we're concentrating on the pure electric mode, but this is a plug-in hybrid car, so we want to give you the chance to listen to the the sounds of the V6 engine. It's a V6 turbo with 450 horses, which it comes on top of the 134 horsepower electric motor when you're using the pure e-power. Okay, so let's start by opening the sunroofs. Let's show you the beautiful dual sunroofs. They each come with their own separate electric blind. So this button here opens the front blind. This button here opens the rear blind. Oh, let's try again. There you go. Now the rear blind is opening. Now the rear blind can also be opened from the screen here on the in the middle tunnel here in the back. The passengers have their own control over climate and also the rear blind. We're gonna change the mode to Sport Plus. So again, as I said, you can press this button here on the center screen, or you do it through here by turning it to the right. The first turn, it puts it in hybrid. Second turn is Sport. Third turn is Sport Plus. Now, when you're using that mode, the Sport Plus mode, and you go into the car settings, automatically you have the two possibilities. The exhaust system goes automatically into the loud version. You can also manually deploy the spoiler, which is located on top of the rear hatch. So let's put it up. And now the chassis adjustment goes automatically into Sport Plus, and the adjustable suspension goes into the low mode. There you go. The engine is now warm. Let's put it in drive, and let's give you the benefit of the sound of this car in its Sport Plus mode. There you go. So, obviously very loud in the Sport Plus mode. And again, this is a V6 engine that works together in sync with the 134 horsepower electric motor to give you that 3.7 second acceleration. It still doesn't feel as fast as of course the Taycan, its brother, and it doesn't even feel as fast as the even the Volvo XC40 Recharge we're driving right now as well, the same week. Simply, the plug-in hybrid and gas cars don't feel as fast as the pure electric cars. So, you know, when you're looking for that thrill, obviously you need to go with pure electric. But still, you know, it's good to have alternatives. These cars will slowly be phased out. First of all, the pure gas cars will be gone, and then in a few years they'll put a ban also on the plug-in hybrids, which will leave us only with pure electric cars. For now, you still have the option, and the alternative, going full electric on the Taycan, which is basically its only direct competition, and that would be the Taycan Cross Turismo, because this is the wagon version of the Panamera called the Sport Turismo. So this is really the only competition, because the 7 Series BMW, S-Class Mercedes and A8 Audi does not offer a wagon version. So this car, again, it's in a category of its own. Maybe the only other competition that really doesn't come close would be the Volvo V60 T8 plug-in hybrid with its 415 horses. But again, it's not as fast as this car. So really the only competition would be its brother, the Taycan Cross Turismo, which we haven't driven yet. It's arriving later this year. It's priced very similarly to this car with almost identical performance characteristics. So let's switch it back to the all-electric mode, which again, last time we used this button here. Let's use the button here, e-Power. And there we go. The engine is off. You can see it's showing right now we're in e-Power. We went completely quiet. The sunroof is still open. We can close it now because we don't have the, and let's close both sunroofs, the blinds on the sunroofs as well. And you can see how quiet the interior is. A very well insulated interior from the outside noise, both from the wind and from the road noise, you know, transmitted from the tires and suspension to the interior of the car. It's very quiet. So let's try and get on the main road to try and show you how well the Porsche autopilot system works. So then here the markings are a little bit more clear. Let's try and turn it on. We're in auto mode still. The auto steer, as you can see, it's not being turned on. And in auto, basically the system automatically adjusts to the speed limit that you're in. You can override it by pushing this controller forward or backwards to increase or decrease the speed. But in its auto mode, it automatically adjusts to the speed limit. And there we go. Let's go back into auto. We still don't have the auto steer on. It's still not turning on, even though the road markings are... There we go. Right now you see it green. So now it's in auto steer mode. And it's automatically adjusts to the speed of this area. And it's auto steering. So, oh, there you go. It's kind of bouncing off the 2 lane markings. It's not perfect. Let's see how well it handles. And you will hear the warning very soon. There you go, it adjusted. It's adjusting speed to the lower speed limit here. Still in auto steer. We still don't have the warning. You can see it's steering itself. Please take over. There you go. And slight touch on the steering wheel causes the cancellation of the warning message. Now that same system in the Volvo, now the system, like you see, the auto steer is off. After the warning sign sounds, it takes a while for the auto steer to turn itself back on. That little tug of the steering wheel to cancel the signal, the warning, is much more subtle than it was in the Volvo. So here we go. This is the perfect demonstration of the Porsche auto steer system. You know, again, this concludes our driving section of this review for the Porsche Panamera 4SE Hybrid. And please do not forget to press that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. And there's also more videos available on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/TEVAssociation. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.